Christmas traditions. I mean, it's a good time of year to talk about it, isn't it? Birthing ball. I evicted a chair so I could sit here. I think I've said this before, but the level of hip mobility I have right now on this birthing ball is such a nice relief. You just don't have it any other time in pregnancy. This is my friend, and I shall not hear a word against it unless there's a legitimate health issue, but I really hope there isn't. Traditions for me, and I would love to hear yours down below. Chestnuts. I love a roasted chestnut. I will say sometimes you can have really bad roasted chestnut, but you don't know that until you've cooked it and then opened it. And then if it's got like a little black bit, then it tastes really bitter because it's a bit off. But roasted chestnuts. Be careful if you go to Istanbul and get some roasted chestnuts, by the way. I had some really bad food poisoning from ones from a street vendor. On the flip side, there were some really good ones. So it's a bit hit and miss. You can, by the way, also harvest them yourself. They're called Spanish chestnuts, not horse chestnuts. Horse chestnuts are colloquially known as conkers. You don't really want to be roasting those. I think they've got, is it tannin? They've got something in that if you eat it, you're going to go, whoa, technical term. But Spanish chestnuts have got really, really spiky shell, and you can see them and you go, oh, that looks dangerous. But if you persevere, you might get lucky and collect some. We used to get advent calendars from Thornton's, but all of the stores really have closed down. It's not quite the same. It used to be that you would have your 25 days, and then the 25th day was your name iced on the chocolate. That was really good. Nostalgia. I don't really do advent calendars anymore. I don't feel the need. December's passed quite quickly for me this year. I'm having the chocolate anyway. I don't have a shortage of chocolate in my diet. It's darker chocolate, but it's still chocolate. One year I bought some silicone moulds and melted Thornton's chocolate down to make my own, which I don't think I tempered it well enough. It didn't work amazingly well, but also it was a bit fun. So I'd recommend doing that. More of an activity to do around Christmas than, opening the foil and getting a new door and stuff. This year I considered doing different types of hot chocolate because, like coffee, if you are really annoying, then you can look at different types of chocolate where the cocoa beans have been buried, grown, and it does taste different. It's amazing. But I had very little extra this December. Another big Christmas tradition for us is the Christmas tree. Love a Christmas tree. I love Christmas lights as well. Which brings me on to the next tradition. Pre-Christmas, what my family loves to do is go for a drive around the relatively local neighbourhood and look at people's Christmas lights. There was a house in Oxford, amazing Christmas lights. They don't do it every single year, they might have moved out, but it was such a big joy going around and seeing them. And say what you will about cold, dark winter days, but having the twinkle of those lights is just magical. Presents aren't really a massive thing for us anymore. They used to be more of a thing, but again, because we are adults, we've got most of the stuff that we need. We maybe do something a little bit back and forth if somebody needs it, but yeah, we're not big having loads of presents under the tree. I think that's going to change for a little bit. But I don't really want this to be a consumeristic holiday. I want it to be more about family because it normally is. And that's what I want to instill as a value in our kids. Movies. I feel like this is quite a Christmas thing, but we don't have any particular films that we watch consistently. I know some people really like Die Hard or Elf, but I just can't watch. I mean, I haven't watched Die Hard. Don't evict me from the internet. Having said that, I do think Frozen is super Christmassy. That is a Christmas film to me. I'm not sure I want to watch it this year because I have a feeling that in the future we might be watching it pretty much non-stop. So I think I might be giving myself a bit of a break in advance. I think the key thing about movies around Christmas is watching them as a family. And what we do tend to do is if there's anything new on BBC iPlayer or a new movie that comes out that is Christmas themed, then we'll watch that together. When it comes to Christmas Day itself, we have quite a few traditions. So number one, there's a lot going on. So we aim to stay in our PJs for as long as possible, ideally the whole day. It's also indicative of how comfortable we are with each other. I mean, growing up, we were always in our PJs together, so it didn't really matter. But now that we're in separate houses, we're still PJ'd up. It's a tradition that I'm still maintaining, even when we go to see the other lot that is not used to the whole PJ tradition. But it's fine because it's quite a few years in now and it's just become normal. The number one thing that we do on Christmas is have a big meal. When my granddad was growing up, they weren't very well off. I think they got a goose, but they really emphasize coming together around that time of year. And Sunday lunch as well. They tried to do something bigger for Sunday lunch because you're kind of saving up towards that part of the week. Christmas dinner nowadays in our family means a turkey, even though it's dry. Apple sauce or cranberry sauce to offset the dryness of the turkey, even though that is relatively new. I mean, it's an American bird and it didn't really come over to the UK for quite a long time. Definitely when my mum was growing up, not when my granddad was. Pigs in blankets. Salmon now for me because pescatarian, darling. things. Now bread sauce, though that is an interloper to the tradition on my side. Stuffing made from scratch. I don't eat the stuffing, though my mum keeps reminding me it's vegetarian. Brussels sprouts, those are very important. That's also a job that is mine around Christmas. I always do the crosses, and we don't care that they don't really matter. It is tradition. We've been doing it for generations. They're gonna have a cross on. Parsnips, I love a parsnip. Roasted, of course. Roasties, roast potatoes. Little bit dry though, I find. I don't know. Roast potatoes are one of the things that you can actually adjust a little bit. So the turkey has to be done a certain way, the Brussels have to be done a certain way, probably the parsnips too. But the roasties, if you want to improve on them, give it a go. On to the desserts. Sherry trifle. Again, not something that I have. Sherry trifle, by the way, is cake and jam, loads of sherry, and then custard on the top. It goes down a treat for the people who like it. Christmas cake as well, and by that I mean it's like a dense fruit cake. Again, very alcoholic. Then you've got a layer of marzipan and a layer of, what's the hard ice? Is it royal icing? But that, and then my mum decorates it and she puts a little scene on top, and it's not massive, but she always has it in the freezer for the rest of the year. Slowly the supplies go down. Nowadays we have like a bunt tin that is a gingerbread scene, and I put chocolate cake in it, and it's my baby. Not food related, but Christmas crackers, that's important. And you're supposed to lay the table and have a bit of foliage on it. That my mum is quite keen on. Don't know why. Guess it's just showing that it's Christmas. The key traditions for us at Christmas are the big family meal and just being around family. Because even though we see each other quite a lot, we're quite a tight-knit family, just spending that time together and making the effort all in one day and annoying each other and coming together to make this big meal happen, that's what it's about for us. We had a dog when I was growing up, a Westie, and his first Christmas, everyone was giving him the odd bit of leftover. It was too much for his teeny tiny tummy, so he lay down and he tried to get up. He was kind of like, and he couldn't get up, and it was on the kitchen floor, which was slippery, so he slipped. And he slipped onto his belly and went, ooh. And I remember just the grunt of, ow. It's really bad. That was his first Christmas. I don't think he ever topped that. I think his stomach had grown too much the next year, and people were a little bit more like, maybe we shouldn't feed the dog too much. The other tradition we have around Christmas is, because my granddad did a Sunday lunch, and New Year's is exactly a week after Christmas. So we have like a New Year's lunch, which is like Christmas, but with the leftovers, or some of the leftovers, because to be honest, those leftovers last for weeks. But it is basically Christmas Mark II, but toned down. Those are my family traditions. I'd love to hear yours. See you tomorrow. Bye.